I'm Jennifer Davidson for Furnicology.com, and I'm with Lorenz Schilling today from the Deconstruction and ReUse Network. Thank you very much for being with us today, Lorenz.
Thanks, Jennifer.
And I wanted to start by asking you, what is deconstruction?
Deconstruction is taking a building apart carefully, nearly in the reverse order it was put together in, for the purpose of saving materials for reuse.
And so that gives you what environmental benefits?
Well, it's part of the reduce, reuse, and recycle mantra, where a lot of times the reduce and reuse is jumped right over and people head straight to recycling, but we think reuse is actually achieving reuse is a higher form of diversion. Recycling is great, but reuse should come first if possible.
Right, and that preserves the existing resources as well as landfill space.
Correct.
So what about the financial benefits of reuse?
There are often significant financial benefits for property owners who have a basis in the materials, which is in effect personal property. So through the process of deconstruction, by putting those materials into a donatable state, they can take their full basis / fair market value and deduction, and depending on the nature of the materials in a given structure, a lot of times folks achieve a significant savings.
And you work primarily in California right now?
Yeah, right now we just are in California and we're trying to become better established here. We have representatives in Northern California, Santa Barbara, LA, Orange County, and San Diego, and we may go beyond that in the not too distant future, but we're trying to just beef ourselves up here now.
That's great. So what kind of properties are eligible for deconstruction?
Pretty much most properties are eligible for deconstruction. The bigger the property, if it's commercial property, things become more challenging. Time frames become more limited. If it's a developer, if it's a 100,000, 50,000 square foot warehouse, that's obviously somebody that really has to be prepared to take the time to do that. Whereas 90% of what we do is residential. Most homes are 2,000 to 5,000 square feet, and those come down in 3 or 4 weeks, and that's the majority of what we do.
So does this make a big mess when you're deconstructing, or how do you handle that?
It gets a little messy sometimes, but generally our contractors are clean and orderly. They stage materials in a garage, and then they get into the framing. After the finished materials go into a garage, that load comes out, and they get into the framing, take the debris and the recycled materials away, and what you're left with is a bunch of clean, rough lumber that's banded and unitized and forked onto a truck and left. It's not as noisy or dusty as taking a machine to a house, so and obviously we save a whole lot more material than via traditional demo, which stuff gets recycled on, but we like our solution, and it's a little quieter.
And tell us a little bit about your contractors who work for you.
We have a network of contractors, licensed C21 contractors, predominantly some B contractors throughout the state, general contractors that is, that facilitate our program, whether it's in a remodel or a complete teardown situation. All of our services are performed by a licensed contractor.
And how did you get the idea for Deconstruction and ReUse Network, and how did it really take off for you?
I used to work for another organization that had a very similar mission of deconstruction and reuse, and I just wanted to take it to the next level and incorporate a humanitarian, kind of a hybrid nonprofit model, whereby the materials that came out of our homes or projects went to contributing towards building affordable housing, and for us that completed the circle of reuse nicely.
And who receives your recycled and salvaged materials?
Predominantly Habitat for Humanities around the state, East Bay, Oakland, Santa Barbara, LA, Orange County affiliates, and then all of our rough lumber out of Southern California goes to the Housing Ministry Corazon. They're known for Build a House in a Day programs and support 6 community centers between Tijuana and Tecate.
So can individual designers get a hold of salvaged material through you?
We're getting better at that. We're starting to post projects online as they come online, in the sense of the project starting for deconstruction. We'll take photographs of the materials that are coming out, fairly detailed photographs, and we're getting more of those projects online on our website, so we hope to dial that in the not too distant future.
Great. And what's the most interesting thing that your company has been able to salvage?
You know, I was really amazed just on a project in La Cañada. I wouldn't say it's the most interesting thing I've ever stumbled upon, but I was really tickled that there was a huge leaded, etched, beveled glass window that was like 10 feet long and 8 feet tall, and I thought there's no way our guys are going to get that out of there, and it's going to make it to, and it actually went to Silver Lake Yards, which was one of the very few items that we didn't divert to Habitat because it was so nice and so big, and it was an architectural kind of artifact, vintage you might say, and it made it out in one piece, and it made it in the truck all the way over there, and it was this just gargantuan beautiful window, and so that was something very recent that we were proud of saving.
Excellent. And I hear that your company is hiring right now.
We are looking for representatives throughout the state, professionals that are perhaps consultants, lead AP types, who have a proximity to projects, who want to advocate for green solutions, and so it's kind of a representative contractor basis thing. If you have proximity to projects and you want to alert professionals in your neck of the woods to our solution, then we'd be interested in talking to you.
Great. And so how could people get in touch with you if they want to?
You can call us on our 800 number. It's 888-545-8333. And I'm at extension 103. And they can find us on the web, of course, reusenetwork.org or decon-network.org.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Lorenz.
Thanks, Jen.